If you like this video, hit the bell icon and subscribe.
This is perhaps the most controversial thing I am ever going to do on WAC. My last video on the Freemasons part 1 was done based on interviewing and getting information from one of India's most senior Freemasons. Everything in that video, any Freemason in the world will confirm. It would be better if you do watch part 1, as in this video there will be many references and throwbacks to it. Yes, it is true that the Freemasons are a fraternity. Most men join the brotherhood because of the charitable work and that they look after each other. But no Mason will ever confirm if there is any esoteric, religious or occult aspect to their gatherings. From what I have learned, even most of them themselves will never find out, even after spending a lifetime as a Freemason. Because after all, the hierarchy is very long. The history is very deep. And a lot of this is not spoken about freely, even behind closed doors. So let me now tell you a personal secret that no one knows. 70% of my viewers are not subscribed to WAC. So please, why don't you go and press that subscribe button and come and join the tribe and support my work. My name is Freesia, this is WAC, and here are a few disclaimers before I begin. Number 1. The information in today's episode is very little research and a lot of it is conversation. Conversation with a person who does not want to be mentioned. The stuff that she told me was not just about the Freemasons, but more about the secret world of magical arts. And so I repeat, what I am going to say is not only about the Freemasons, it is actually about the world of esoteric and occult practitioners. Number 2, everything that I am saying in this video, I couldn't really cross-reference and confirm on my own. But while looking for conspiracy theories, I found something very fascinating and ancient. And I thought, why not explore some new concepts with the tribe? Number 3, listen to what I am saying with an open mind, because it's very easy to dismiss all of this as crazy talk. And just for the atheists and disbelievers, I would like to point out that at the entrance of the main building of the Higgs Collider is a statue of the Nataraja. And I'm not saying that some of the smartest minds in the world are Hindu, but I am saying that if these scientists are open to understanding concepts that are allegorical, then you who are watching this video, maybe you should also be open to new ideas. Number 4, those of you in the audience who identify as Christians and Muslims, some of the things that I am going to say might offend you. All I want you to know is that these are not my personal beliefs, only that which someone else has told me and a bit of history that I am sharing with the tribe. So let's get started. I guess the best point to start would be at the heart of the logo of the Freemasons, the G. Does the G stand for God? Sure. At the end of the day, anything and perhaps everything we see is there because some God wanted it. And also one of the main criteria of eligibility to be a Freemason is that you cannot be an atheist. But many people have also insisted that the G could also stand for Gnosticism, esoteric mystical knowledge. Then the question arises that who are the Gnostics? And why do a lot of people believe that the G of the Freemason symbol stands for it? Now take a look at these two images. If you show these images to a 16th century Christian in Europe, you would not be surprised if they thought that these were hellish and some kind of satanic imagery. For them to comprehend that this too can represent divine forces would be understandably difficult. And here begins a quick lesson in history. For 300 years after Christ, Christianity was still a tiny cult that did not have any real influence. The Roman Emperor Constantine ruled the Roman Empire, and it was during his rule that Christianity became a weapon used by the ruling classes. Constantine realized that nothing unites people like the fear of God. And if they don't want to accept your God as theirs, nothing changes their mind like killing everyone around them. Practitioners of all older religions in Europe were given the choice of accepting the Roman Bible or the sword. This extended across the Mediterranean and later even to the Americas. And funnily enough, India was one of the few places that both Christianity and Islam did not overrun completely. What Christianity did not conquer, Islam did. And by the 18th century, very little outside Asia was not ruled by one of these two religions. So what does all of this have to do with the Gnostics? The Gnostics were practitioners of older religions who realized that if they did not want to convert, then they would have to go underground. My own community, the Parsis, chose to flee from what was today Iran and come to India instead of accepting Islam. In earlier days, authority used to consider anything which they cannot control as a threat. You might even say that that is true even today. And that's why people with this kind of mystical knowledge were singled out and hunted down. I was shocked to know that until as recently as 1983, it was against the church's laws for its members to become Freemasons. And so that is why I assume that maybe the G from Gnostic very quickly changed to God. There's nothing wrong with esoteric knowledge. But the two biggest religions on earth were programmed to believe that if certain knowledge doesn't fall in the confines of their own religious books, then it must be evil. Here is an image of Satan, and here is an image of Lucifer. You will be forgiven if you thought that they were the same energy. Honestly, so did I. Now here is an image of the Greek god Pan. Centuries before Christ was born or Constantine started his Christian Inquisition, people across Europe worshipped Pan. He was a god of spring harvest. He played the flute, he drank wine, he engaged in music, dancing, and fun. When the Christians wanted to replace their old gods with the new, the easiest thing to do was to depict evil in the form of old gods. Half animal, half man was the opposite of an Abrahamic God who had created man in his own image. And why did I show you that image of Kali right at the beginning? Another thing that existed for thousands of years was the divine feminine, the mother god. Her temples were run by priestesses, and women were respected enough to be consulted about spiritual matters. Only with the advent of new religions, God became a male force. So now look at this image of the inverted pentagram, which they call the goat head or the satanic pentagram. And look at this image of the female reproductive system. Worshipping feminine energy was not okay with the church, and believers in goddesses like these were labeled as believers in the Antichrist. Now think about a Lakshmi Puja that is being held at home. What happens? A learned man comes, he says certain words in a certain order and cleanses the air and brings a very feel-good and wholesome energy to a space. And as far as the church is concerned, at least in the 16th and 19th century, this would have been considered as black magic. One man's Lakshmi Puja is another person's black magic. One man praying to Pan is another man's Satanism. Even as recently as World War II, Hitler believed that the Freemasons were evil. And under the Nazi regime, it is estimated that between this many Freemasons were murdered. During that time period, the royalty and the wealthy intellectuals of Europe started getting interested in this kind of knowledge. But understand that they were born and they were raised in very different situations. In India, if a member of your family wants to go and learn more about yoga, the Vedas, mantras, and tantras, society applauds them and reveres them. The same in Europe of that time was not cool at all. In all of this comes two names which now I would like you to Google: Aleister Crowley and the OTO. Both of them have their roots in Freemasonry and the Gnostics. They realized that saying things and doing things with objects, mantra, tantra, yantra, could achieve goals that were out of the ordinary. The rituals of the Freemasons are also very precise. Everything is being said and done in a particular order and manner. Because all of this went against everything that the church stood for, where you had to submit to their priest and could not take any action yourself, they were being classified as anti-Christ. The point is that none of this is anti-Christ. It might be anti-church or anti-Rome. Next comes the eye in the pyramid symbol and how that has been linked with the Illuminati or the illuminated. Illumination, meaning light, which allows one to see. In India, we consider an enlightened man as somebody who is worthy of respect. But their propaganda wants you to have blind faith, and if you can see, you must be evil. People believe that there must be a deep connection between the eye of the Providence, which appears as a Masonic symbol, a symbol for the Illuminati, and also something that we see on the $1 bill. More often, the Illuminati are believed to be a group that controls everything, using other organizations like the Freemasons, governments, banks, and the entertainment industry as tentacles of control. There is an article in the description that I have linked if you want to deep dive into the Eye of the Providence, its symbolism and meaning. Another reason why the Freemasons are linked to the Illuminati and the New World Order is because of the Georgia Guidestones. This mysterious structure, which suddenly appeared in 1980, was commissioned under a pseudonym, R.C. Christian. On the stones are inscribed 10 commandments in 8 different languages. These are thought to be the commandments for the New World Order. And what terrifies people the most is commandment number 1, where the population needs to be brought down to 500 million. Now I can see why this is scary for a lot of people. It doesn't help with conspiracy theorists pointing out how Hollywood has regularly pushed the idea of wiping out large amounts of population into the collective consciousness. Rumor has it that the people who commissioned this were connected with the Freemasons. Many Freemasons were believed to be Rosicrucians and vice versa. On a personal note, I don't think that bringing humanity's numbers down is such a bad idea. There will be more wealth, lots of space, and even Mother Nature will be able to thrive. Another conspiracy theory about the Freemasons is their connection with Judaism. Because of these symbols that they share in common, the Kabbalah tree of life and the 2 pillars that we see on all the Freemason certificates. Ask a Freemason and he will give you a very simple answer that this is the pillar through which one enters Freemasonry. This image is called as the Kabbalistic tree of life. And if you pay attention, it has 2 pillars on the left and right, which is identical to Masonic symbols. Do the Masons study the Kabbalah? I don't see why not. Today, many people I know are trying to understand its spiritual significance. On a side note, in Hinduism and Judaism, there is a commonality, the snake. The Kundalini, which is a life force, it rises from our lowest to our highest chakra in a snake-like motion. Kabbalah has a slightly different map and explanation of the chakras, but even there, the movement of energy, it's always upwards, snake-like. The point of everything that I am saying is that propaganda has us convinced that there is no need to know what the old religions were talking about, and that this kind of information is considered evil, or like they like to call it, satanic. But these are the same people who have waged more wars and killed more innocent people than anyone else on the planet. So you tell me, who should we believe? Look, I warned you. I was going to go in a direction that perhaps you have not heard before. And when I spoke to my source, we spoke for a very long time. And I don't even think I've given you half of what she told me. The stuff I have omitted, it was even more freaky and, let's say, magical. I'm not sure if the tribe wants WAC to go in that direction. So why don't you let me know in the comment section, and then maybe I'll think about it. My name is Frisia, this is WAC, and like the hermits say, as above, so below, as without, so within. And do what thou wilt. Love is the law, love under will. If you don't know what that means, Google it. Ciao.